Now, on the political scene, one of the Democratic candidates is Senator Joseph Biden. Have you seen the problem he's been having? He went around and made a speech. And apparently, he quoted I think it was a British politician, took his speech and kind of paraphrased it as his own. And then the press got on him, and then he was charged also with taking part of Bobby. And Biden says, not to worry, he reassured his staff. He said, we have nothing to fear but fear itself.
Hit me!
Get into it!
It's love time!
Man, you don't know.
Get into it, get on up!
So Wendy, I'm gonna take my mask off when I speak.
Well, I'm waiting so that we can do a little political field.
Okay.
So that it's on camera. Do a little political field. So that it's on camera.
While I'm sad, you've been out all night, know you've been bad. Don't tell me different, know it's a lie. Come to me, honey, see how I cry. Why must you hurt me, do what you do? Listen to me, girl, can't you see I love you? Make a little effort, try to be true. I'll be happy, not so blue.
How can a person tell if they have the regular seasonal flu or if they've contracted the 2009 H1N1 influenza virus?
Well, for a person, him or herself, to be able to determine that would essentially be impossible, because you can get everything from very, very mild illness to severe illness with either seasonal flu or the H1N1 new 2009 pandemic flu.
I just had a couple things. I mean, I was in the White House in 2009, 2010. I was working for Vice President Biden, I wasn't involved directly in the H1N1 response, but I lived through it as a White House staffer. And what I will say about it is a bunch of really talented, really great people working on it, and we did every possible thing wrong. And it's, 60 million Americans got H1N1, 60 million Americans got H1N1, 60 million in that period of time. And it's just purely a fortuity that this isn't one of the great mass casualty events in American history. Had nothing to do with us doing anything right, just had to do with luck. And so if anyone thinks that this can't happen again, they don't have to go back to 1918, they just have to go back to 2009, 2010. Imagine a virus with a different lethality, and you can just do the math on that. Now,
the Centers for Disease Control this past week quadrupled its estimated H1N1 flu virus death toll to roughly 3,900 between April and mid-October. For more on the outbreak, we are joined by Dr. Anthony Fauci.
Good evening.
Despite those numbers we just gave, this past week in this country, the reported number of cases of H1N1 were down. Should we be encouraged by that?
I think it's really premature to get any encouragement for that. There was a little blip down in the pattern of the number of cases. But since flu is eminently unpredictable, I think it's really dangerous to make any assumptions as what's going to happen over the next few weeks or months. It could have peaked and then might come down. That would be wonderful if that happens. Or it could peak and then taper off like this, which means there'd be many more cases of influenza. Or it could peak, come down, and then in the middle of the winter, we could have a second wave.
Déjà vu.
So I think we ought to refrain from making any kind of conclusions about the patterns based on a single week's tally.
Doctor, when it comes to being vaccinated, let's go through these priority groups again. Who should be first in line to get vaccinated?
Well, it's the people who are most high risk for complications, and those are young children, pregnant women, and those who have underlying conditions. We also want to vaccinate the people who are caretakers of individuals who are less than 6 months old, as well as healthcare workers. But the people who are vulnerable are those major three groups: pregnant women, young children, and those with underlying conditions.
As a response to allegations.
So Wendy, I'm gonna take my mask off when I speak.
Oh, well, I'm waiting so that we can do a little political theater. So that it's on camera.
You sit on a throne of lies.